Hi, this is Mr. West, and today we are doing a tutorial video on order of operations. This is from mathdrills.com. This particular worksheet is 4 steps with no exponents and whole numbers. So if you guys are interested in checking out more resources on different order of operations with exponents, etc., make sure to check out the link in the description below. Now, the bottom line for this is you can see we don't have exponents. We have parentheses, addition, multiplication, division. Okay, so the bottom line is we need to understand the order of operations, and I have it listed here, PEMDAS, PEMDAS. Okay, so what does this mean for us? Well, we're going to start by using parentheses and then moving on to exponents, which in this worksheet I've already mentioned, we don't have exponents, so that makes it a little bit more simple for us. But we do have multiplication, addition, and subtraction. So we're going to start off doing the parentheses. So anything in the parentheses, we're going to start there. But then our focus is going to shift to any multiplication, division, or addition, subtraction. And once we get to multiplication, division, you'll notice that I just put a 3 there. A lot of people think that we do multiplication before division because it's listed first. However, what we're actually going to do is we are going to go left to right once we see any multiplication or division. So once we're done with our parentheses, we move on to multiplication, division, and then we move on to addition, subtraction. Again, we just treat them in equal order, addition and subtraction that is, but we just move left to right. Now, I think the easiest way to understand this is just to apply it. So let's go ahead and start a couple of these problems. I'm going to switch to blue. So here we have, and actually let me bring this up here with us. So I'm going to zoom out. I'm going to bring this up so I can reference it. Okay, and I'm actually going to get rid of the x for exponents. I feel like I'm mistreating it. So let's get rid of that x. There we go. Okay, so this is our order of operations. I would have this at the top of your paper, but this is really important to reference. Okay, so we have 2 parentheses here. Now you're probably thinking, okay, well, what do we do if there's 2 parentheses? You can start in either one, as long as you keep the order the same. And I'm going to really emphasize here, kind of like this funnel approach to this problem. I'm going to make it more and more simple as I evaluate each step. So I'm just going to pick one of the parentheses here, and I'm going to start in, let's just start in this one. So 3 times 4, I'm going to simplify that and actually switch to green to show that I'm simplifying it. So I get 12, and I'm going to rewrite everything else in blue. This is what I recommend. I cannot recommend this enough to all beginners with mathematics, especially middle school. Really emphasizing just rewriting the problem is really going to save you once you get to higher levels of mathematics. So I have 12 divided by, and I just rewrote the same thing. Well, guess what? I have 12, I have division, okay, but I also have parentheses still, so I need to handle that next. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite this, but I'm only going to do the parentheses, what I've highlighted in green. Here I have addition, subtraction. I don't necessarily just do addition first no matter what. I have addition, subtraction, no multiplication, division, or exponents. So I'm just going to go left to right. That means I'm going to have 17. And actually, I'm just going to do one step here. I'm going to show you that we're just going to, whoops, that's not 17. Apologies. This is 16. So I'm just doing, I'm going to erase this because I'm going to show you that I'm just doing the 7 plus 9 first. And then I'm just keeping it minus 10 in my parentheses. So I'm technically not done. Okay, I've done one parenthesis, but I still have these others to go. So what I'm going to do next is finish off that parenthesis. I started it, but I need to finish it. So now I have 7 plus 9, 16. Then I have to subtract 10, and that gives me 6. So let me change it to green, 6. And now I have the parenthesis essentially vanquished, if you can say it that way. And notice, look at this funnel approach. Remember how I put these 2 lines there at the beginning? That's my intent. I want to make this more and more simple as I go down. Now, you're probably thinking, well, I still have parentheses. Well, not really, because there's no operations left to do in the parentheses. So essentially, I can erase those parentheses, and I'm done with the parentheses. Now I'm moving on to exponents. Don't have exponents. Multiplication, division. I only had division, and that's my only operation left. So that's what I get to do. I get to do 12 divided by 6, and that gives me 2. So my answer is 2. Make sure to circle at the end, and you can see that nice funnel approach that I was talking about earlier. Let's go ahead and move on to number 2. So number 2, similar, but this time we only have one set of parentheses. Again, our first step, we're going to check parentheses first. So let me go ahead and start there. This time we only have one operation to do in the parentheses. So that's 4. 10 minus 6 is 4. I'm going to keep the parentheses there. I like doing that until I know I can kind of erase them. So over here we could erase them because, remember they were here, because we just have 12 divided by, and there's nothing else going on. That was the only thing left, okay? So I'm going to rewrite everything else. Again, super important practice, really working on this funnel shape. So if you want to put those, I've seen my students put those before I start. I don't know if I would put them before I start just because you don't know exactly how it's going to look, but I'll just leave them now just as a reference, okay, that we should be working our way down in simplifying. Rewriting, I know a lot of my students don't like rewriting stuff, but very important that you do it. So we have 8 times, we simplified our parentheses to 4, divided by 2 plus 4. We got a lot going on here. Notice how, and I'm going to highlight in a different color, we have multiplication, we have division, and we have addition. But guess what? We need to do the multiplication and division first. And we're going to go left to right. So I'm just going to start from the left and move to the right until I'm done with just my multiplication and division. So let's go ahead and do that. First up, I need to do the multiplication. So I'm going to highlight my multiplication that I'm going to do. That's 8 times 4. So I'm going to rewrite that so I get 32. And then I'm just going to rewrite everything else that I already have here. I know it's annoying, but it's a great process that really makes sure that you don't make mistakes. So now I have 32 divided by 2 plus 4. I'm going to do the division. Division still comes before addition and subtraction, so I need to do the division next. 32 divided by 2, since it's an even number, 32 is, I know I can divide it by 2 evenly, and I get 16. And now I just need to add 4 to that. That's my last step. And I get 20 for my answer. Now, I know you guys may not have a highlighter, so I'm going to show you, and you may not have different colors. I'm going to show you how we can do this problem without changing color and still stay a little bit organized like I'm doing here. Let's do another one. Maybe go down further on the page. Those ones actually look fairly simple. I'm going to end with the last one. Let's go to this one. This one looks actually kind of a little bit more complex. Okay, oh, I forgot my order of operations. Let me bring those down. Okay, and if you have that at the top of your paper, that's going to be useful. But I like to have this with me. Okay, again, if you want, okay, I would leave this up to you. You might have to erase it if you mess up, or it's wider than you expect. Let me get that going. But if you want, just know that you're going to have this funnel shape going on. Okay, so let me go ahead and get my funnel shape. All right. So first up, okay, I don't have a highlighter. I know I'm going to start with parentheses, though. Number 1, parentheses. So I have 2 plus 4, and that gives me 6. I'm going to rewrite everything else, okay? I know it looks weird when I write it backwards, but you can do it. You're just copying it down. Probably one of the biggest things I try to emphasize is you just keep everything in its place until you take on each one of those operations. So here we have 2 plus 6. That's the only thing we did. Everything else we just kept in the same spot. And it looks weird with all those arrows, but I just wanted to show you that's where my mindset is as I'm doing this problem. Okay, now I have subtraction, multiplication, and division. Since I have both multiplication and division, I'm just going left to right. So I'm going to start, and this is so weird for my students, we're not doing 10 minus 6 first. We don't just go left to right here. We need to start with the multiplication, so we're going to do the 6 times the 5. Okay, so 6 times the 5 is what comes first, and that gives me 30. I'm going to keep everything else in place. Okay, now I don't do 10 minus 30. I still need to do the division first. So that's 30 divided by 6 gives me 5, and now I have something that makes a little bit more sense. I have 10 minus 5. And that gives me 5. So you can see, as long as you're underlining, that kind of helps too. If you want to draw arrows, that might help. Just know you're kind of just dropping down everything in place until it becomes more and more simple, creating this funnel effect. And that is how you stay organized. Let's do this last one because it's got 2 parentheses. Okay? Don't be afraid about 2 parentheses. Let me bring my PEMDAS down. This guy's super helpful. All right. So if I have 2 parentheses, where do I start? Do I start with this divide by 9? Do I start with this 10 minus 6? I start at the innermost parentheses. It's kind of like starting at the innermost room of the house, okay? You want to go to the furthest inside that you can. So I'm going to start inside right here and then work my way outside, okay? So I'm going to start inside this house. I'm going to do one step at a time. Now, a common mistake Oh, I have addition first. A comes first in PEMDAS. I need to do addition first. And then they have 10 minus 11. And if you're not familiar with negative numbers, that would seem weird to you. But that's not correct. What we have to do first is we have to do 10 minus 6 because we go left to right when there's only addition and subtraction present. So again, I'm concentrating on these parentheses right here. And inside these parentheses, I'm focused on the 10 minus 6. So I'm going to just do 10 minus 6, copy everything else down, even the second parenthesis, okay? And that's all I've done so far. Again, I have two parentheses, and you might say, oh, but there's divide. Do I do the divide for? No. You need to do the the innermost parenthesis again first. So that's 9. Okay, I'm going to leave that in parentheses. And there I go. I have 9 divided by 9. Okay, so I can get rid of these parentheses because there's nothing else going on outside of those parentheses. I just have that divide. So I'm just going to go 9 divided by 9 now, and that gives me 1. And then I have times 2. And there's nothing else going on outside these parentheses, so I can just do the times 2, and that is 2. So something super complex, again, becomes more simple when we take it step by step and rewrite these problems. Okay, don't be having writing all over the place up here and you're scratching out. Okay, that's how you make mistakes. But if you stay organized, that is how you come away victorious. So I hope this was helpful. If you need more of these problems done or have any other questions, please leave a comment. If there's any other topic from math drills that you need covered, let me know. I can happily make a worksheet, but make sure to check out my math drills tutorial playlist. I have tons of great resources there. Math Drills has tons more. And I look forward to seeing you next time right here on Wes Explains Best.